Trust. It's vital to any lasting relationship. When you trust someone with your whole heart, you're giving them everything and taking your chances with love. But building trust takes time. And if you trust too quickly, it may just backfire, sending you speeding into a nightmare you can't escape. Before you know it, your relationship has collapsed in on itself, leaving you in the dust. January 19th, 2010. It's 2 a.m. in downtown Atlanta. The sun is down, but the city is alive.
Atlanta is always awake. Atlanta is a city that never stops.
Over on the northwest side of town, 22-year-old Max Turner and his friend, Reese Shaw, are walking their dates to the train station after a night of partying.
The group was flirty and laughing and having a good time.
But soon, the jovial evening would be turned on its head.
An SUV pulls up right next to them.
All of a sudden, 2 armed gunmen jump out and hold the group up at gunpoint.
The assailants demanded everything: keys, wallet, valuables.
Everybody's frantic, they're panicking. It went from a double date to a robbery.
In the chaos, Max shoves past the gunman and tells the others to run.
All of a sudden, he hears bang, 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 bang.
He is terrified. He is literally running for his life.
Max is able to take cover behind a nearby building, but he sees that his friend Reese isn't as lucky.
He sees that Reese is on the ground. He's being beaten to a pulp.
That's when Max notices something that makes his jaw drop.
He sees his dates in the vehicle of the suspects that had just robbed him.
He knows in that moment that they were absolutely set up.
Suddenly, Max sees the gunman rush to the vehicle and the foursome flees the scene. When the coast is clear, Max races to his friend's aid.
He realizes that these injuries are really bad. He doesn't know if he's gonna live or die.
Soon, police will not only find themselves chasing the brazen foursome, but chasing the truth, where one woman must decide just how far her loyalty lies for a man she just met.
I knew about to risk it all for this man.
In 2010, 22-year-old Atlanta newcomer Tiffany Vega was excited for a fresh start.
She's had a tough time in the city of Kissimmee, Florida, where she comes from. So she sees Atlanta as a new opportunity, a new land to start over.
Tiffany got her younger sister, Crystal, to go with her.
Tiffany was ecstatic to start her new journey with her sister by her side.
She saw bright lights, big city, but not only that, she saw an opportunity to really change the course of her life.
She loved fashion. Tiffany had hopes and dreams and aspirations of one day starting her own fashion line.
As Tiffany started her job search in the big city, she never expected to find love. But soon enough, she'd meet someone who would change her life forever.
One afternoon, while waiting at the bus stop, Tiffany was approached by this smooth-talking stranger.
He told her that she was too pretty to be waiting for a bus outside and offered to give her a ride home.
The young man introduced himself as 18-year-old Jerome Davis.
Jerome has all this great energy, and immediately they have this instant attraction.
He was a nice looking dude, muscle bound and little button nose and cute.
They were laughing, they were flirting.
Tiffany accepted Jerome's offer. He dropped her off shortly, and the two spent the rest of the afternoon texting each other.
He made me smile anytime I got a text message from him. It made me feel great.
Jerome was extremely attentive. I mean, text messages back and forth, just really lovey-dovey stuff.
It really just creates this connection between the two. They feel they both understand each other.
The next day, the connection between Tiffany and Jerome went beyond texts and straight to the bedroom.
The kisses will melt you. That's what happened. The kisses melted me.
Here you have this extreme chemistry between two individuals.
She fell hard, and it was fast.
Over the next few days, the romance between the two continued to blossom, and Tiffany felt like she'd hit the jackpot.
For the first time, Tiffany had somebody catering to her. Jerome would cook for her, pay her attention, spend that quality time. She felt special.
He was a real gentleman. That was one of the best things about him.
Jerome had even asked Tiffany to move in with him.
Within a week, she found herself moving into her new man's house, ready to start their lives together.
He was something like my grandma was telling me that what a man is supposed to be. So I never would have thought at the end that it would be the way it was.
January 19th, 2010, downtown Atlanta. Police have just arrived on the scene of a violent armed robbery where victim Reese Shaw has been brutally beaten.
One of the officers, he go over there to tend to Reese until the EMTs were able to arrive.
Thankfully, it doesn't seem that his injuries are life-threatening.
With an ambulance en route and a bolo issued for the perp's dark SUV, officers speak to the other victim, 22-year-old Max Turner.
Max tells police they were on a double date at the time when, out of nowhere, two men came out with guns.
He was actually still in shock. He really couldn't believe that this had actually happened to him.
Max says he's sure their dates knew the male assailants.
Max tells the police the girls were on it. This was a setup from the beginning.
He sees this SUV and the two sisters that they had been on a date with earlier that night were in the back.
But before police can continue their conversation with Max, they receive word that their perps might just be within their clutches.
A beat cop happened to see the bolo and then quickly identified the suspected vehicle.
A high-speed chase of 120 miles per hour is ensuing. The SUV is driving very recklessly and dangerously, trying to get away from the officers.
"22-year-old Tiffany Vega was excited to move to the bustling city of Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta represented a fresh start for her.
But before her bags were unpacked, she met handsome 18-year-old Jerome Davis.
It was that instant, bond of feeling like somebody wants me just as much as I want them.
Tiffany and Jerome, they felt like soulmates.
Tiffany was happier than she'd ever been. But soon, she would find out her whirlwind romance was destined for trouble.
I'm not knowing I'm about to make a bad decision that's about to affect me for the rest of my life.
January 19th, 2010, 2:30 a.m. Atlanta police are in pursuit of a dark-colored SUV that's been implicated in a violent armed robbery.
It's a full-blown high-speed chase, a very dangerous situation.
But just as quickly as it started, the speeding vehicle is stopped in its tracks.
Anti-lock brakes, hit, car spins completely out of control, and then they hit a telephone pole.
The four assailants get out of the vehicle and run.
So the two girls take off. One of the males comes around from behind the car and is running behind the two young ladies.
The driver ran the complete opposite direction.
Police are out in this foot chase pursuing these suspects.
As officers close in, one of the male assailants collides with the females.
The front passenger, he actually trips him.
I went down, straight on my knees, bust my knees open, I'm bleeding.
Police continue their pursuit of the male assailants, while the two women are apprehended. The women identify themselves as Tiffany and Crystal Vega. As the officers check them for weapons, they immediately find a firearm.
They find a gun on Tiffany. In the process of that male suspect knocking her to the ground, the gun landed underneath Tiffany.
I never realized I was even laying on the gun. Not until the police actually picked me up is when I realized there was a gun there.
Tiffany is adamant the weapon doesn't belong to her.
My first instinct was to tell them, that is not mine. I never touched that.
Regardless, officers prepare to take Tiffany and Crystal back to the station. And just minutes later, their colleagues apprehend the male suspect who escaped after colliding with the two sisters.
He's identified as 19-year-old Malcolm McClarty.
But where was the driver of the vehicle?
The police cannot find him anywhere. So their only hopes are to take the three suspects down to the station and hope that one of them cracks.
As Tiffany Vega, Crystal Vega, and Malcolm McClarty are booked into the Fulton County Jail, Atlanta detectives arrive at a local hospital to speak with the victims of the robbery, 22-year-old Max Turner and 20-year-old Reese Shaw.
Reese took a pretty brutal beating, but the doctors were able to stabilize him.
Detectives ask Max and Reese to start from the beginning. Max says it all started when he met Tiffany on a dating website.
He actually invited me to come over and hang out.
Tiffany ended up bringing her sister, Crystal, who hit it off with Reese.
Max and Reese is having a great time with the young ladies. They're basically having a kickback at his house.
Just before 2 a.m., the girls said they needed to head home, but were worried about walking to the train station by themselves.
Max and Reese decided that they would walk them out.
It was getting real late, so the gentleman thing to do was to walk the young ladies to the MARTA station.
Max says he and Reese never could have expected what happened next.
All of a sudden, these guys are rough, they're aggressive, they're yelling, they're shouting.
In the middle of all this chaos, Max was able to get away.
Max said one of the men fired a gun at him.
But when Reese tried to run, he was grabbed by one of the men and knocked down to the ground.
Reese tells detectives he was terrified as the man began rifling through his pockets.
The guy took his phone and his wallet from his pockets.
Reese says he then tried to get up, but his attempt to escape only escalated the situation.
That's when the beating happened.
He said that after the first few blows, everything else was a blur from there.
Detectives thank the two victims for their time and head back to the station to interview Tiffany, Crystal, and Malcolm. They're hoping they can get at least one of the perps to come clean and help nab the fourth assailant. But it'll be easier said than done.
My whole concept was he riding for me, so I might as well keep my loyalty to him. Whatever he asking me to do, I'm gonna do it. When I met Jerome, I was skeptical. I don't know you, I'm not getting in the car with you, but that's just how they do here in the South. That's that Southern hospitality. And he was comforting and just nice, and I didn't know nobody in Atlanta, and he told me he ain't have to worry. He'll make sure he take care of me. I liked He was a guy that wanted to be a man, and he wanted to be my man.
January 19th, 2010. Atlanta detectives are investigating a violent armed robbery against two young men that left one of them hospitalized.
They're walking their dates down to the bus stop. All of a sudden, an SUV pulls up. Two men jump out with guns.
One of the victims, Max Turner, was shot at as he tried to run away from the robbers. The other, Reese Shaw, he was beaten and robbed.
And according to Max, their dates were in on the whole thing.
Max sees these two young women getting in this car with the assailants.
Fortunately, police now have 3 of the 4 suspects in custody: Tiffany Vega, Crystal Vega, and Malcolm McClarty. But a 4th suspect, the second assailant who had also been driving the vehicle, is still on the lam.
The 4th suspect has vanished into thin air.
After speaking with the victims at the hospital, detectives head back to the station to begin interviewing their perps. They begin with 22-year-old Tiffany Vega.
Tiffany was found with the gun, which made her look bad.
Max has identified Tiffany as the one who set up the date.
Detectives present Tiffany with the statements from Max and Reese.
Detectives now tell Tiffany the victims have identified you as being along with the other assailants running away in that SUV. You were found with the gun. We have all of these connections, Tiffany.
Detectives also confront Tiffany with photos of evidence police confiscated from the SUV: Reese's cell phone and wallet.
At this point, Tiffany is starting to feel the walls caving in. She doesn't know how she's going to get out of this.
I was just angry and frustrated and scared.
Detectives ask Tiffany who the 4th assailant is, the one driving the car.
Investigators are telling her that she will do jail time if she doesn't give up more information. They're hoping that this is what's going to be the breaking point for her.
But to their surprise, Tiffany remains steadfast.
I said, well, I don't know who you're talking about.
No matter what kind of questions they asked her, what kind of variations, what kind of promises, she would not give up any information.
To detectives, it's clear Tiffany is going to do whatever it takes to protect the 4th suspect.
All she has to do is cooperate with the police, and yet all she cares about is protecting him, making sure that he doesn't get caught up in this.
Getting nowhere with Tiffany, detectives decide to cut their losses and move on to their other suspects. But Crystal Vega and Malcolm McClarty are just as tight-lipped.
No one was talking.
Even though their 4th suspect is still a mystery, police move forward with charging the other 3.
They were charged with armed robbery, felony aggravated assault.
Tiffany was also charged with possession of a firearm.
Detectives hope that in the months awaiting trial, they'll be able to nab the missing assailant one way or another.
At this point, it's like a cat and mouse game, but they would have to work different angles to try to find more information.
As Tiffany, Crystal, and Malcolm await trial, detectives begin monitoring their phone calls, hoping one of them will trip up and speak to their accomplice.
They listen for certain things, looking for a big fat red flag.
And soon, police would get the lead they were hoping for.
He continued to answer the phone. He keeps telling me he loves me and cares for me.
She would fall on the sword for her man.
January 2010. Atlanta police have Tiffany Vega and her sister Crystal, along with Malcolm McClarty, in custody for an armed robbery that terrorized 2 innocent men.
The victims thought they were on a double date with Tiffany and Crystal, but it turns out they were just being set up to be robbed.
While the victims survived and have been able to identify the 3 assailants in custody, the driver of the vehicle is still in the wind. And unfortunately, the 3 in custody aren't talking.
They pressed and they pressed, but they were not budging.
Detectives have begun listening in on their suspects' phone calls, hoping one of them will make contact with the 4th assailant. And it isn't long before Tiffany Vega's phone calls give them pause.
The entire first or 2 months, Jerome spoke to me all the time.
Tiffany and Jerome were talking a lot, so that gave them reason to believe that they were dating.
Many of the calls are romantic in nature, but that's not all.
They were talking as if he owed her for something, which seems suspicious to detectives.
He told me he loved me. He would make sure that he would file my taxes, and I explained to him to split the money up and put on me and my sister's books.
When detectives look into Jerome Davis's background, they become even more suspicious that he could be the missing assailant.
What police discover is Jerome has a pretty long rap sheet.
His crimes include assault and battery, so given his violent past, they wouldn't put it past him that he could be involved in this.
However, detectives need more concrete proof before they make a move on him. And unfortunately, the victims never got a good look at the 4th assailant.
The victims were able to identify Tiffany and Krista Vega and Malcolm McClurdy, but cannot identify the driver.
You couldn't connect Jerome to anything. There's no fingerprints. There was nothing really linking him to the crime.
Detectives continue to monitor Tiffany's phone calls, hoping she will slip up and implicate Jerome in the crime. But the couple is taking their precautions.
So because the phone calls are recorded in the jail, we never spoke about how he got away. He asked me how I was doing. I asked him, was he making any moves to help me? Those were the kind of conversations that we were having. We never discussed anything about the crime or anything.
To detectives, it seems Tiffany still believes her man can save her from the outside.
I think what she initially thought was, oh, he loves me, he's gonna take care of me, I'll be quiet because this is what you do for people you care about.
She's still holding on to that hope that the man that was loyal, devoted, loved her for who she was going to be out there fighting for her.
But as the months wear on, detectives notice Jerome has gone AWOL.
He stopped calling her, stopped answering her calls, and stopped putting money on the books for her and her sister.
Tiffany seems crushed.
At this point, I'm just adapting. I'm concerned about my sister. I don't see nothing happening on Jerome's end. So, being that he's not doing anything, now I'm like, okay, you say you love me, but I don't see it.
She was really starting to feel the weight that this relationship may not have been what she thought it was.
Detectives wonder if this is their chance, a chink in the couple's armor. In August 2010, 7 months after the armed robbery took place, they sit down again with Tiffany.
At that point now I'm angry. At that point I'm mad and sad at the same time.
Detectives tell Tiffany their theory, that the 4th individual, the driver in the crime, was her boyfriend, Jerome Davis.
If he was her boyfriend, it would explain why she was trying to protect him.
Detectives tell her they know he's not calling her anymore and he's no longer putting any money on her books.
They also pull out a shocking piece of information that they'd only just recently discovered. One that detectives feel confident will get Tiffany to turn on her man.
Jerome has a new girlfriend now. So that's why he stopped calling her, stopped reaching out.
That crushed my soul, to think that somebody cared about you and they walked away freely from something that you all were a part of, and just left the three of us left to serve time while he was home chilling at his new girlfriend's house.
Detective's hunch was correct. Now, a heartbroken Tiffany is ready to tell all.
I'm not trying to protect him any longer. I can't protect him any longer because that ain't real love.
You have Tiffany now having this massive moment of reflection where she realized she's been used.
So now Tiffany is about to spill everything.
August 2010. After 7 months of investigation, Atlanta police are on the brink of nabbing the fourth assailant involved in a violent armed robbery. 18-year-old Jerome Davis.
Jerome was the boyfriend of one of the women they have in custody, Tiffany Vega.
Police suspected that he was the fourth assailant after numerous jail calls with Tiffany, but they needed proof to secure a warrant.
Initially, Tiffany refused to cooperate with police and was doing everything in her power to protect her man. But now the detectives have provided proof of Jerome and his new girlfriend. A heartbroken Tiffany is ready to tell all.
I was super depressed. He dragged me into this. And now I have to do what's right.
Tiffany says it all started on the night of January 18th, when she and Jerome had only been dating for 1 week.
It was hard for them to make ends meet.
We were not doing well financially. So he said, I got a way. We just need some people to rob. And I say, I never did that before, I've never actually taken from somebody.
Tiffany tells detectives Jerome assured her it would be fine.
And he was like, all you gotta do is find someone, I'll do the rest.
And eventually, Tiffany caved.
Every doubt that she had, he was like, no, this is for us. This is how we're going to start off our lives. This is how we're going to take on this world.
He riding for me, so I might as well keep my loyalty to him. He's the only person looking out for me. The only person I got right now besides my sister that understands me, so whatever he asking me to do, I'm going to do it.
Tiffany explains Jerome showed her how to log onto a chat room to look for a victim.
At this point, she meets this guy, Max.
We got some guys off the chat line that kept wanting to talk to us, and that's what we did. We made a decision to take whatever they had.
Tiffany recounts how Jerome helped calm her fears prior to leaving.
Jerome handed her a burner phone to contact him so that it couldn't be traced back from police to them.
Jerome also told her that he had a car that they could use to stay off the radar. He assured her that it was a foolproof plan.
I just thought that maybe he borrowed somebody's car. I don't know, it's stolen.
He coached her on how to behave, how to act, how to talk, how to keep the men interested, how to look at their surroundings.
She hung on Jerome's every word. She was loyal without question. She completely, totally just trusted him.
Tiffany says that night, Jerome and his friend Malcolm drove her and her sister to meet up with Max.
Max responded back. He had a friend with him and asked Tiffany if she had a friend, and that's how Crystal got involved.
While Jerome and Malcolm waited outside for the signal, Tiffany and Crystal tried to play it cool. But Tiffany wasn't expecting as many people to be there.
The house is full of people, and the sisters are getting nervous.
My mind was racing at that time that maybe this ain't the right thing to do. Maybe this is getting too scary for me.
Tiffany says when Max stepped away to grab drinks, she took the opportunity to text Jerome.
I text her, tell him don't come in here because it's people here and I don't want to get caught.
But Jerome was unfazed.
He told the girls to play it cool, flirt a little bit, and lure them outside so that they can get them alone.
Tiffany admits she followed her man's orders.
I said, well, we gotta go because we done stayed too late. They said, okay, we'll walk you to the train station.
She texts Jerome and let him know.
By 2 a.m., the foursome had almost reached the station.
It's really freaking me out that I'm about to do something this serious. Like, I was getting paranoid.
Seconds later, all hell broke loose.
Jerome and Malcolm are aggressively charging at them and holding the group up at gunpoint.
So I literally put my hands up as if I'm getting robbed.
Tiffany confirms that when Max took off running, Malcolm started shooting at him.
I hear gunshots, and now I'm really scared.
Jerome throws Reese to the ground, and Crystal and Tiffany are frozen. They're panicking.
The plan has completely broken down.
Jerome yells at Tiffany, "Hey babe, we gotta go. Gotta get in the car."
My sister has to shake me out of it and run and tells me to run.
Tiffany says she and Crystal got into the backseat of the SUV as Jerome had instructed and watched the rest of the attack in horror.
She sees Reese start to get up, and Jerome tells Malcolm to handle him, so he starts brutally beating him.
As Malcolm continued to wail on Reese, Jerome got into the SUV with the girls to stash their stolen goods.
So Tiffany asked, "What did you get?" And Jerome said, "Well, a wallet, a cell phone, and $6. Tiffany's stomach dropped. She just realized that she risked it all for $6.
I look at him and say, I ain't made for this type of stuff. This is scary and I don't want nobody to get hurt. This is not good.
Tiffany says after that, Malcolm got in the SUV and the four of them fled the scene. The next thing she knew, cops were on their tail.
It didn't take cops long to spot the stolen vehicle after that bolo went out. The car had Ohio tags, and that's kind of rare because you're in Atlanta.
Jerome guns it. The car is speeding uncontrollably.
Tiffany says when Jerome started driving like a madman, she grabbed her sister's hand.
I told her I'm sorry. She's just shaking her head like, I'm gonna get you out of this.
Suddenly, Jerome lost control of the vehicle and they crashed.
Jerome jumps out of the driver's seat and takes off, leaving them all in the dust.
As Tiffany and her sister follow suit, Malcolm collides with them, tossing the gun.
He shoves Tiffany in the back, and she falls. And as she falls, she lands on the gun.
After 7 long months, Tiffany has finally given detectives the missing piece of this crime. But will Jerome Davis actually end up paying for what he's done? Or will Tiffany have to take the fall?
Jerome was never concerned about her or her best interest. She was just another person that he wanted to use to get what he wanted at that time. You have females that buy in and they support these guys and they commit these crimes and they take the fall for these crimes for these guys, and they're losing their futures because of it. And I think a lot of it comes from that sense of loyalty feel, which is interesting because a lot of them are so loyal only to find out that they've been replaced.
August 2010. After 7 months, The armed robbery attack on Max Turner and Reese Shaw has finally come full circle.
Detectives finally have enough evidence to arrest the fourth suspect, Jerome Davis, who was the driver that night.
It's all thanks to Jerome's girlfriend and accomplice, Tiffany Vega, who has agreed to cooperate with police in their efforts to bring down her man.
Jerome had betrayed her. She was willing to not give his name up, and he ultimately abandoned her while she was behind bars.
She felt like she'd been played.
Just hours after Tiffany gives her statement, police arrest Jerome and bring him in for questioning.
Investigators come in, they sit down, they talk with him. You kind of want to gauge to see what his commitment level is to his girl. How much is he willing to let his girl go down for? You know, does he care?
At the mention of Tiffany's name, Jerome says nothing.
At this point, Jerome is emotionless, stoic. He's withdrawn.
He didn't give anything up, really, because he felt like they didn't have anything on him.
Jerome lawyers up and decides to tempt his fate at trial. The other three, however, choose to take plea deals for their roles in the crime.
We pleaded guilty and they dropped a lot of the charges down to lesser charges.
Tiffany and her sister Crystal are both sentenced to 10 years behind bars.
I went out and committed a crime. So you reap what you sow. If you go out and do something, there are consequences. But Crystal doesn't do stuff like that. It just wasn't okay for her to get in trouble. It might be the worst mistake of my life.
Malcolm McClarty receives a 20-year sentence.
He still shot at the victim, committed armed robbery, and beat another victim so much that he had to go to the hospital.
By the fall of 2010, Jerome Davis's trial is fast approaching. But everyone is shocked when it suddenly comes to a screeching halt.
The DA comes and sees me and says, I can't use you because you would look like a scorned lover, angry because he has a new girlfriend.
To Tiffany's dismay, Jerome walks away with probation and nothing else.
He never was sentenced to any jail time.
There was nothing really linking him to the crime except for the witness statements by the individuals that were all charged. So he basically almost gets off scot-free.
It's something that happens more than what we are willing to actually acknowledge, that people give themselves to other people to the point of the detriment to themselves.
In 2016, after 5 years in prison, Tiffany is granted early release for good behavior.
I was sentenced to 10 years to serve 6. My sister was sentenced 10 years to serve 4.
Though they lost precious time with their family while behind bars, the sisters tried to grow and learn from their experience.
We were ready to just live a happy life, to live in peace. Serving that time humbled me.
But even after everything that had happened, Jerome still couldn't leave Tiffany alone.
I didn't speak to Jerome till I got out of prison. He texted me and told me to be safe and stay out of trouble. And I told him, why would you even contact me? And those were our last words to each other.
For Tiffany, this is a healthy detachment. This gives her an opportunity to focus on the things that really matter, her family and her goals.
But in June of 2018, Tiffany and her family were dealt another tragic blow.
Crystal was unfortunately a victim of domestic violence. She was shot and killed by her boyfriend during an argument.
I couldn't be there to hold her hand or help her. It wasn't fair to her. It was hard. real hard.
Today, Tiffany still regrets the crime she took part in and the trust she put in a man she had just met.
I always wanted somebody to protect me, be my knight in shining armor. And he played that role in the beginning so great. So great. But it was just a lie. I was living a lie.
Trust is a valuable currency, and you have to be careful who you give it to. If you're too quick to trust, you're not only risking your own life, but the lives of the ones you love. Before you know it, you could be racing down a dangerous path and ultimately wreck your entire life.
She would do anything for her kids.
She was very proud to be a mother.
She was so committed.
And with a new man by her side, there was nothing that could stop her.
Things were on the up and up.
The couple wanted to take it to the next level.
It was just really a beautiful thing to watch.
Until the family vanished.
The whole house was empty.
Why would she move and not tell anybody?
Something wasn't right.
The disappearance triggers a desperate search.
I started making calls.
I was printing flyers at work.
We wanted to hold out hope.
But a horrific discovery will put hope to the test.
I remember my uncle yelling up, "There's something down here."
Whoever did this had to be a sick, deranged individual.
That day was just rough.
And it could get even worse.
You tell me where them kids are.
June 5th, 2014. It's a bright summer morning in Detroit, Michigan, a Rust Belt city that's hustling to pull itself up by the bootstraps.
Detroit is a grinding, a hard-working city. You come here, you're going to love and have a passion for the city.
Now, I'm proud to say I'm from Detroit, and I never plan on leaving, honestly.
The morning marks a significant milestone for one Detroit family. Alicia Fox's daughter, Kayla, is graduating kindergarten.
Alicia was extremely excited, so excited that she bought Kayla a custom cap and gown.
It should have been one of the best days ever.
But as the ceremony is about to begin, Kayla's teacher realizes something is wrong.
I'm standing, getting the kindergartners up to go to the stage. And we get to the last student, and I realize Kayla wasn't in line.
Her mother is missing too.
I did a 360 and looked through the audience, and Alicia was not present.
Alicia's husband, Aaron Justice, and their 8-month-old son was absent as well.
The only family member in the crowd is Kayla's father.
Hey, have you seen Alicia or Kayla anywhere?
Kayla's dad was just as puzzled as her teacher.
I've been calling her phone all day, but it's been going straight to voicemail.
It's so weird. She was so excited about this. She wouldn't miss this.
Unable to reach Alicia, he tries her sister.
Kayla's dad called me saying, "Where's Alicia? Where's Kayla?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "They didn't show up to the graduation." She talked about it all of the time.
At this point, they're starting to be concerned.
There was no way that Alicia was going to miss Kayla's graduation.
Something wasn't right.
"27-year-old Alicia Fox had spent her whole life in the city of Detroit.
We grew up on the east side of Detroit. My mom raised us all. It was 3 girls and 3 boys. And Alicia was like the second mom because, you know, she was the oldest.
Alicia was always the one to protect her loved ones. I just remember her being a sweetheart.
Alicia was versatile. She could tell a joke. She, make people laugh. She would cook and plan family events. She was a backbone to, someone who needed support.
Although by 20 years old, Alicia was busy supporting a family of her own.
After graduating high school, Alicia got very close with a male friend that she grew up with.
They met, I believe it was elementary school. His mom says that she knew that they were gonna grow up and sparks were gonna fly.
They ended up falling in love, and they ended up having a daughter.
I don't think that Kayla was planned, but when they found out about her, they both were equally excited. She was very proud to be a mother. Her entire life became Kayla.
They were best friends. Like, you never really saw Alicia without Kayla.
Alicia and Kayla's father soon went their separate ways, though.
There was like a mutual understanding.
Co-parenting seemed real easy. They got along well, and I just never seen any issues or problems.
Everything they did was in the best interest of Kayla. They communicated with each other. They were able to come together whenever they needed to for Kayla.
Before long, there would be another man in Alicia and Kayla's lives, Aaron Justice.
Alicia and Aaron started dating in 2012.
Oh my gosh, thank you. We're starving.
I gotta take care of my girls.
Much like Kayla's father before him, Alicia had known Aaron for a long time.
They knew each other since Alicia was a teenager. They had a mutual group of friends, so he was always around.
Even though she wasn't trying to be in a relationship, he was smooth, he was suave, and they ended up getting together.
Aaron was very chivalrous. He was pretty much a sweetheart to Alicia.
He also had her back.
He came into Alicia's life and he encouraged Alicia to go back to school to be a medical assistant.
I vividly remember he would make promises to her and she would be like, well, don't flake on me, don't say it if you're not gonna do it. And he'd be like, I promise, Scout's honor.
Aaron kept his promise too, helping take care of Kayla while Alicia went back to school.
You sure you don't mind?
Of course, baby. Let's go. You gotta ace that test.
He and Kayla did have a pretty good relationship, playing around, watching TV, playing games. And Kayla, was cool hanging around him, having him there.
Aaron was so good with Kayla. He was exactly what Alicia had been looking for. So she could see herself spending the rest of her life with him.
And as Alicia was finishing her medical assistant certification, she gave birth to the couple's son, Christian.
She was extremely excited. She wanted more kids, but she wanted a boy.
Aaron was just as excited as Alicia.
And for Alicia, it looked like she'd really hit the jackpot.
After Alicia had Christian, they got married. They moved into a bigger house.
Everything happened very fast, but I was just happy that she was happy. I love seeing her happy.
Things seemed like they were on the up and up.
But now, on the day of Kayla's kindergarten graduation, the entire family is a no-show.
Alicia had been working hard for weeks to make this moment special. It made no sense.
There was just too much invested in it. She wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Concerned, Alicia's family desperately tries to reach her.
I called her phone, texted her, called Aaron's phone, texted him. I didn't get through to anybody.
Alicia's sister called other family and friends too, but they hadn't heard from Alicia either.
By the end of the night, I was worried enough to start calling hospitals. I couldn't sleep at all.
The next morning, Alicia's sister and several family members decide to go over to her house.
Alicia!
Alicia, you here? There was no answer to their knocks, and there was no car in the driveway.
Someone discovered a window was unlocked, so they climbed in and opened the door.
But inside, they find nothing.
All of their stuff was gone.
Everyone thought Alicia Fox had found her fairy tale ending when she fell for 28-year-old Erin Justice.
I do remember her being really, really happy.
They moved into a bigger house and they got married. So I thought everything was well.
But now, after Alicia missed her daughter's kindergarten graduation, relatives have found her house empty and abandoned.
We all get that feeling where it's like something's not right. That was pretty much the feeling that I had.
It wouldn't have been like Alicia to just pack up her things and the kids' things and just leave without telling her family.
Wherever they were, it doesn't appear that they left in a hurry.
The house was spotless. You would have assumed that it was professionally cleaned.
The whole house smelled like bleach.
And when she searches the basement, Alicia's sister finds a stash of empty bleach containers.
Which raised the red flag, because it's like, why so much bleach?
Was the empty house also a crime scene? Fearing the worst, Alicia's sister goes straight to the police.
I made a missing persons report for everyone, and then Kayla's dad made a separate report on behalf of Kayla.
Alicia's family tells the police officers the last time they saw Alicia was at Memorial Day. She was her normal, bubbly self, and she didn't say anything about moving out of town.
Once Alicia's sister files the report, officers accompany her back to the house.
Of course, they didn't see anything indicative of foul play.
The house was bare. That might lead one to believe the whole family moved, and they just didn't tell anybody.
That's essentially what one neighbor tells the police as they're leaving the empty house.
He walked over and says, "Oh, they just moved."
Well, there was a moving van out here a while ago.
Maybe Erin and Alicia got into some financial situation, and they can no longer afford the rent here.
If it was due to money troubles, maybe they were too embarrassed to tell anyone.
The family doesn't think so.
That doesn't make any sense.
They're an extremely close-knit family. So for Alicia not to ask for help with the move, or at least share the news, just didn't seem like her.
But at this point, the police are hesitant to launch a full-scale search.
They gave me a report number, pretty much told me, wait to see if you hear from her,
That's it?
That's it. Have a good day.
Many adults leave. They're grown. They can leave on their own. They can come back when they want to.
Unsatisfied, Alicia's family sets out to find their loved ones on their own.
We pretty much started doing our own investigating.
Starting with her sister's social media posts.
On Alicia's social media, a lot of the posts were trying to portray that she was taking the kids to Cedar Point instead of going to Kayla's graduation.
Cedar Point is an amusement park that is 2 hours away.
This is not making any sense.
She had never said anything about skipping the graduation.
Kayla, she's barely tall enough to ride rides. Why would she skip out on this graduation to go to Cedar Point?
There was nothing in Alicia's social media about moving out of their house either.
Something seemed off.
The contents of the posts aren't all that's off either.
The verbiage is different in these posts. She doesn't talk like this. She doesn't use this kind of punctuation.
For Alicia's sister, the implications are clear.
And she does not type like this, no.
Someone else had made the posts.
Why would someone pose as Alicia?
More worried than ever that something horrible has happened, Alicia's sister and her family reach back out to the police.
I'm telling you, she did not post this stuff.
Police ask, is there anyone that would want to do harm to Alicia?
It's a question the family has a hard time answering.
Alicia didn't have enemies.
The only person they could possibly think of was her ex.
Kayla's father?
No. It was a man between him and her husband.
At the beginning of Alicia and the kids' disappearance, I wrote down as many streets and addresses that I could remember. Kayla's grandmother printed thousands of flyers for us, and we dispersed. It was, let's get it done. I can't even remember how many flyers we passed out, how many people we talked to. At that point, we wanted to hold out hope.
According to Alicia Fox's family, the missing mother of two had a complicated history with her ex-boyfriend, a man named Nick Barnes.
Alicia and Nick's relationship wasn't the best.
They were young, and he made some decisions, that were detrimental to their relationship.
He was a drug dealer, somewhat unsavory character.
In addition to his past relationship with Alicia, Nick also had a history with Alicia's husband, Aaron.
He was not only Alicia's ex, he was Aaron's former best friend.
But that had changed after Nick's drug dealing landed him in jail.
While he was on the inside, Nick asked Aaron to check up on Alicia.
That's when he stepped in and became that supportive friend, trying to help her.
We tried to be a comforting shoulder to Alicia.
Although it wasn't long before Aaron was doing more than just comforting Alicia.
He and Alicia hit it off, and they ended up together.
The family was real happy about their relationship.
I do remember feeling happy that she moved on from being with Nick.
However, when Nick got out of jail, he wasn't as happy about how things had worked out.
He was furious with both Aaron and Alicia. I mean, his friend is now dating his ex-girlfriend.
He regularly let them know how he felt about what he considered their betrayal.
Nick had a history of harassing them. It was so bad that Aaron and Alicia had to move across town. But is this enough to say Nick is the reason the family has disappeared?
Alicia's friends and family aren't so sure.
I would have never thought that he found out where she stayed and then did something to them or anything like that. Because he did love her. You could tell that he loved her, for sure.
But with the whole family missing, detectives aren't so quick to rule it out.
Nick's criminal past raised a lot of red flags.
There was enough information there to make them think possibly he was involved. He's an ex-boyfriend, he's got a criminal past, he had jealousy and resentment for the relationship that Alicia and Aaron had. So Nick had to be looked at as a possible suspect.
But when detectives reach out, Nick isn't interested in talking.
Hello? This is a homicide detective. I want you to come down to the station to answer some questions about the disappearance of Alicia Fox.
Look, if you want to talk to me, call my lawyer.
Nick has dealt with the police before. He's done time, so he knew how the game was played.
Which only leaves detectives more suspicious.
Once you are able to talk to that person and you find out they're not cooperative, you would see what other information you could find out.
While detectives dig deeper into Nick, the family's frustration grows, and they decide to launch their own effort to find Alicia and the others.
We'd hit the ground running.
Alicia's family is in the streets trying to figure out, does anybody have an idea what happened to Alicia and her family?
We had a couple people call and say, oh, I think I saw her. She was walking the baby in a stroller. So we go over there, we're searching, pretty much excited. We did find the girl who actually resembled Alicia, but wasn't her.
Then, on June 9th, 4 days after Kayla's kindergarten graduation, the family receives an anonymous tip.
The tipster tells him he got the number from this flyer that was posted around the city, and they should go check out this abandoned home on the west side of Detroit.
The tipster provided an address, but no other details.
Alicia's family races to the abandoned house.
We called the police, but we beat them there.
At that point, they weren't about to wait.
We pulled the boards off the house.
Despite the boards, the abandoned house shows signs of activity.
You could tell that, probably squatters had been in the house.
Alicia!
As they approached the basement stairs, Alicia's uncle held everybody else back.
Stay right here, stay right here.
There was this really eerie feeling.
While the rest of the family waits upstairs, Alicia's uncle descends into the basement.
I remember my uncle just yelling up the stairs, there's something down here. We ran downstairs.
He found an old door lying on top of something wrapped in a tarp.
He lifted the door up and pulled the tarp back.
There is a dead body in the basement.
Alicia Fox's loved ones have spent 4 anxious days combing the streets of Detroit for the missing mother, her husband Aaron, and their 2 children. But now an anonymous tip has brought their frantic search to a devastating end.
The family went to an abandoned house and found a body in the basement.
It was Alicia. I knew that it was her. She had on her favorite purple basketball shorts.
At that point, it was too late. Everyone knew that Alicia was dead.
That day was just rough.
Outside the house, Alicia's uncle calls the police, while her sister contacts the father of Alicia's daughter.
I remember telling him, we had found her.
He's at the abandoned house within minutes, before the police even arrive.
He ran in, because he couldn't believe it. He had to see it for himself. All I remember thinking is, right now, he's terrified about the safety of his daughter.
Police and homicide detectives get to the scene soon after.
Homicide investigators respond to the scene. Even if the cause of death is not known, it is a suspicious death.
Any sign of other kids?
No, nothing.
After speaking with the officer, detectives see what potential clues they can uncover from Alicia's remains.
A quick examination of the body confirmed that they were dealing with a homicide.
Alicia had been shot 6 times with 2 shots to the head.
However, that's not the only injury Alicia suffered.
It also appears, while trying to dispose of her body, Alicia's killer tried to sever her legs.
It was a very graphic scene.
Whoever did this to Alicia had to be a sick, deranged individual.
It's also evident to detectives that Alicia's murder had occurred well before the family reported her missing.
The body was in a state of decomposition, and it was determined that Alicia had been in the basement possibly more than 4 days.
In fact, police think she might have been killed not long after the family last saw her 2 weeks ago.
But officers don't locate any other bodies inside the house.
Where is Aaron Justice? Where are the children?
Could they still be alive?
Only one thing is certain. The family's search is far from over.
I was just trying my best to be strong for everybody, because as much as I wanted to or needed to mourn, I knew that there was still going to be a job to be done.
While the family clings to hope, the detectives have to consider a different possibility.
Maybe Aaron wasn't the victim. Maybe he was the killer.
Is that why Alicia's body was the only one in the house? Could Aaron have killed her and ran off with the kid?
Quietly, the detectives decide to do a little digging into Aaron.
They find out he has some very serious charges in his rap sheet.
Aaron had weapons possession charges and a prior domestic violence assault.
That's definitely a red flag.
That type of behavior can escalate. And the one thing about domestic abuse, it can escalate quickly, and it can go places we never want it to go.
When the detectives follow up with her family, they all say Alicia and Aaron's marriage seemed fine.
Anytime I talked to Alicia about their relationship, it was always something positive.
For the most part, she seemed happy. I thought they were just going through the typical marriage stuff.
Or could there have been more going on than Alicia's family knew?
A lot of the times, women are hiding what happens. So to the outside world, they're thinking, hey, you guys have a perfect relationship, you look good, and they don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
The first indication of trouble comes when a friend of Aaron's reaches out to detectives.
He tells the police Aaron had confided in him that Alicia and him were fighting all the time.
He said she was talking about getting a divorce.
This could be a clear motive that he would try to harm her.
But it's what the man says next that really grabs the detective's attention.
Aaron texted him a picture of a gun and asked him, did he want to buy it?
When was that?
Last Saturday,
31st.
I guess.
That was only a few days before Alicia went missing, likely right after she had been killed.
Was Aaron trying to get rid of a murder weapon?
Detectives investigating the murder of 27-year-old Alicia Fox have learned that shortly after someone shot her 6 times, her husband, Aaron Justice, was trying to sell a .40 caliber handgun.
That would lead an investigator to wonder if the ballistics on that gun would be matched to what was found at the scene where Alicia was discovered.
To prove that it was the murder weapon, they would need to get their hands on the gun.
Did you buy the gun?
Nah, I don't get involved in that kind of stuff.
It's a disappointment for detectives, but Aaron's friend does share some other potentially valuable information.
Aaron may have been having an affair.
That might have been possibly why she wanted to divorce him.
It definitely is a betrayal of emotion, of security, of family.
She would have never wanted that going on in front of her kids.
The fact that Alicia and Aaron's marriage may have been in trouble is news to her family.
I was pretty surprised when I found out. There wasn't something where I felt like, oh, they're on the verge of getting a divorce.
I thought that she was in love and happy.
We see it a lot. It's hush-hush behind closed doors, and nobody in the family really knows how bad it is.
The suspicion surrounding Aaron only grows once the family hears rumors that he is alive and well.
According to the rumors, he was in Atlanta.
At that point, somebody in the family blurted out, he's running.
When detectives learn that Aaron may be in Atlanta, they work to track him down.
They're hopeful with finding him that the children will be with him.
They start their search by obtaining a subpoena for Aaron's cell phone records.
Almost everyone has a cell phone, and cell phone signals can be traced.
After confirming that Aaron was in Atlanta, the detectives contacted the FBI.
There was a warrant issued for Aaron's arrest.
It wasn't long for federal agents to find him and track him down and bring him into custody.
Unfortunately, when they made the arrest, there was no sign of Kayla or Christian.
With Aaron in custody, investigators waste no time getting him into an interrogation room.
I had immense hope that the police were going to be able to get a location of the children out of him.
But when questioned, Aaron has little to say.
Everybody wants to know where the kids are.
I don't know where they are.
He played dumb the entire time, like he had no idea what happened to Alicia or the kids.
Got nothing to talk about.
We're not talking. You should. You should have a whole lot to say. You should be telling us who you gave your kids to.
I'm telling you, like a man, I don't know where they are.
Aaron not only denied knowing anything about the location of the kids, he also denied being involved in Alicia's murder.
Yeah, we know Alicia's dead. Because we found her. That's a given. You killed Alicia.
No.
Aaron said that the last time he saw Alicia, she was alive and angry.
He told the officer she put me out, she asked me for a divorce.
That confirmed some of what the detectives had heard from their friends.
But they won't get confirmation on anything else.
You gonna take this to the grave?
Take what to the grave?
Everything.
No, I don't know everything.
Your guilt? You gonna take your guilt to the grave, man?
I don't guilt. I don't know.
Investigators tried very hard, but he still didn't give up any meaningful information.
Killed your wife. I know that for sure. My biggest issue, and I would like to know where that child is at.
The fact that you're still holding on to where the kids are, that is like pure evil.
You tell me where you placed them.
I didn't place them nowhere.
You had them last.
Here we go with you.
Here we go with you. I'm not the one wearing the green little jumpsuit. You are.
However, while Aaron is in custody, it's unclear if prosecutors will be able to put him away for good.
The evidence against Aaron was entirely circumstantial at this point.
With Aaron stonewalling detectives and no new leads coming in, it looks like the case may come apart. Until Alicia's sister gets an unexpected tip about a friend of Aaron's named Timothy Jones.
I got a call from someone who knew Timothy, and they told me that Timothy had been going around the neighborhood telling people that Aaron killed Alicia, and he paid him to hide the body.
As soon as she's off the phone with the informant, Alicia's sister contacts the lead detective.
I let him know what they're telling me, and within like a day or so, they had picked Timothy up.
As soon as the detective sat Tim down for questioning, he broke down.
Did a really bad thing.
Detectives investigating Alicia Fox's murder and the disappearance of her 2 children are following up on a tip that a man named Timothy Jones may be involved.
Timothy was an old friend of Aaron's.
They had reason to believe Tim may know something about what happened to Alicia. Therefore, they bring Tim in and interview him.
Tim tells police Aaron called him to come over for Memorial Day weekend and help out with something. They've been friends forever, so he didn't think much of it.
But when I got there, something just seemed off.
Aaron was really upset, and he basically admitted that he had just shot his wife.
Did he say why?
Said they got in a fight.
Aaron told him that Alicia said that she wanted a divorce.
It's over, Aaron.
Over?
Yes.
Oh, I'll show you over.
So he shot her.
Yeah, I guess. He said he blacked out.
Once he came to, he realized he was holding a gun and Alicia was dead.
Whether Aaron actually did black out or not, Tim says he has little doubt that Aaron did kill Alicia.
Because after confessing, Tim says Aaron asked him to help get rid of the evidence.
Did you?
Yeah, man, I've known him since elementary school.
Tim picked up some shell casings from the gun. He threw them in the sewer.
He says he also helped Aaron load Alicia's body into a rental truck.
That was the same truck that neighbors had seen outside of the house.
Just right over there.
After Tim helped Aaron get rid of the body, he said Aaron paid him.
He paid him Alicia's jewelry, which was a pair of Cartier glasses and a watch.
However, Tim says he doesn't know what's become of Alicia's 2 children.
He says when he left Aaron's house that day, the children were still alive.
It appears he is telling the truth.
Detectives had Tim take a polygraph test, and he passed.
Then, detectives take Tim back to the crime scene, where they recover 4 .40 caliber shell casings from the storm drain.
That was the same caliber as the gun that Aaron was trying to sell around the time of the murder.
With the evidence against him piling up, detectives are confident they can now secure a conviction against Aaron Justice. While Aaron sits in the Wayne County Jail awaiting trial, the search for Alicia's missing children continues.
We searched houses and commercial buildings and streets. We even did grid searches of forests and rivers.
Months go by with no trace of Kayla or Christian, and unfortunately, they were never found.
With no bodies and nothing but circumstantial evidence against Aaron, he was never charged with anything regarding their disappearance.
And he won't stand trial for Alicia's murder either.
When trial came and we got to court and the judge told us that he had accepted a plea deal, it was a surprise to everybody.
With Tim set to testify against him, Aaron's attorney probably saw conviction coming.
In September of 2015, Aaron Justice pleads guilty to murder.
When he took the plea deal, I don't remember him showing any kind of emotion or remorse. He was just sitting there, like he just did not care. Like something is really wrong with him. And he's just sitting there, not crying, not looking like he had any remorse for doing this. It made me want to beat the shit out of him, honestly. Just jump over the thing, grab something, and like beat him with it or something. Because it pisses me off and it makes me so angry.
In return for his plea, Aaron is sentenced to between 45 and 80 years in prison.
When most people hear that a defendant received 45 to 80 years, they think it's justice. I don't think that. I don't think that 45 to 80 years of not being able to walk in the free world I don't think it suffices for what he did.
And no amount of prison time can bring back the woman he took away.
Alicia was everything to a lot of people. She was nearly the backbone to my family. She kept a lot of us together, so much so that losing her has kind of changed the dynamic of my family. She was everybody's favorite, and I want people to remember Alicia for her energetic personality and her goofy laugh, and just that she was someone that you can always count on.
Alicia never deserved anything like this. She was just so sweet. She loved everything. And she was definitely a strong woman, for sure.
But most of all, The family wishes the prosecutors would have put one more condition on Aaron's plea deal.
It definitely should have involved him telling us where the kids are. Because, like, he takes the plea deal and then he just goes to prison. But what about the kids? And it makes me really, really angry. Because it's like they think they did their job, but really no, because you still have 2 missing children. We're out here still suffering. Like, we cannot move on.
It is just very troubling that there's a plea deal and he has information, yet it's not being shared. There should never be a plea deal until all the information is out on the table.
I definitely still have hope and faith that one day we will find the kids. But as time go on, it gets harder and harder. The feeling of not knowing makes it 1,000 times worse because we just don't know.
Kayla and Christian meant everything to Alicia. And if there's anybody out there who has any information that could help bring them home to the family that Alicia loved, I'm sure that it will bring Alicia some peace.
If you have any information on the disappearance of Kayla Hunter or Christian Justice, please contact Crime Stoppers of Michigan at 1-800-773-2587.
अल्फ अल्लाह की जात तू ऐ झोरे सदके जेड़ो कुल कायनात चलाण आलो अल्फ अल्लाह की जात तू झोरे सदके जेड़ो कुल कायनात चलाण आलो हुक्म उसके बाजना पत्थर अल्लाह ओ तेरो मेरो वजूद बनाण आलो 18,000 मखलूक गो ऐ मालिक सुनो रब सुनो जमीन आसमान आलो अर्श फर्श लो कलम महफूज कुर्सी जिया जून ना रिज़्क खिलाण आलो दाल दुखांगी गल सो नौरे तमना एक बच्ची मासूम रोलाओ गई है दाल दुखांगी गल सो नौरे तमना एक बच्ची मासूम रोलाओ गई है ओ उसकी मारे गुलनाज है बहुत दुखिया ये मारा सीना माँ बर छिलाओ गई है नाओ बच्ची गो अफसा में मूद सोनो रोग उमरा गो सुनी लाओ गई है ओ जिला पुणछ गिरा शिंदरा सोनो ऐ दुखिया दिलाना अफजारो लाओ गई है दाल दर्द जो दयागा ऐ बहुत ओखा है पर बचागी नार जो दई ओवे दाल दर्द जो दयागा ऐ बहुत औखा है पर बचागी नारे जो दई होवे ओ माना सबर करार फिर नहीं रहा तो ए दख्ते जिगर की जद जो दई होवे ते बाप उसको मैं मुँह दियो सेन दुखिया अफसा जही बची सिने लाई होवे ओ दुख मुझ जावेद माँ बाप नावे ओ बचा किसे ही नारे जो दई होवे तेरे हो रब गा कर तमाम होए आस्तारा अप्रैल ना खुशी भरपूर होई रे हो रब गा कर तमाम होए आस्तारा अप्रैल ना खुशी भरपूर होई ओ अल्लाह पाक ने दिती एक बच्चियों सोनी ऐ गुनाहगारांगी अर्ज मंजूर होई दिन माँ दाखिल रही महारात ऐ 10 बजे ऑपरेशन होयो ते टेंशन दूर होई ओ दीती खबर फिर आनी उन डॉक्टरां ने हो गई बची पर बड़ी कमजोरी होई सलाह दीती वीर डॉक्टर है कमजोर बची ले गए बीच मशीन रखाओ दीती सलाह दीती डॉक्टर है कमजोर बची ले गए बीच मशीन रखाओ दीती 18-19 तक रखी पुणछ अंदर और पर इकी नर जोरी कराओ दीती ऐ रात 9 बजे मामू ऐ नानी दोए गड्डी तरफ जोरी चलाओ दीती ओ मासा देरी ना लाई ले चल गया ओ 12 बजे जोरी पहुंचाओ दीती किसना चैन सकून फिरे आई उस दिन तो रास्ता बिच डाडा परेशान होया आई किसना चैन सकून फिरे आई उस दिन तो रास्ता बिच डाडा परेशान होया ये रात 12 बजे ले जोरी पुजया कि जल्दी डॉक्टरां कोल रवाने होया ऐ डॉक्टर नब्ज तके मुतू ये बोल न सके असली राज तू बे वो हैरान होया ओ अमानत रब की है तम सबर करियो ए आपसा बची गारू वे रवानी होया किसना होश रे ओ सुनी ये खबर जिस दम आया है आप जायमना छोड़ गई है ऐ किसना होश रे ओ सुनी ये खबर जिस दम आया है आप जायमना छोड़ गई है ये एम्बुलेंस करी वापस पुणच चलना मारी किस्मत अज मुखरे मोड़ गई है आई गुल नाज वाणी अरे ए मान बाकी मेरी खुशी ना किंगा तू रोड़ गई है दाखिल विच अस्पताल थी पुणछ अंदर हे मांगुल नाज गो दिल क्यों तोड़ गई है अप्रैल बईना सुबह गए आई 5 बजे वतन शींदरा पुजे आयान सदके अप्रैल बईना सुबह गए 5 बजे वतन शींदरा पुजे आयान सदके माना 10 बजे एम्बुलेंस आने तेरा तकन गाया अफजायर मान सदके ते कितना दुख था महंगा ऐ काल जामा जाने वाया रब रहमान सदके और वे बाप महमूद परवेज नानी नाले रोवे सजाद यवान सदके कफन दफन गोविलो हुणे यार के ओ इना दुखाना हुण मीटौरे किसरा कफन दफन गोविलो हुणे हार के ओ इना दुखाना हुण मीटौरे किसरा ओ जीता मांगे बचा गो टूर जानो इस शेर बर कलम चनो किसरा ते अच्छा रब वाले हुणे आई छोड़ गई है तीना सिना नालू हुण लो किसरा सबर या तो नी दिल मां याद तेरी रोता दिला ना चुप करूं किसरा फिया मान इना दुखाने आई मुकणोनी 4 बजे रे आपका दफनाओ छोड़ी आई पिया मान इना दुखाने ई मुकणोनी 4 बजे रे आपका दफनाओ छोड़ी वतन पुणच गिरा शिंदराय अंदर ओ सोनी निकी जी कबर बनाओ छोड़ी सबर करियो महमूद गुल नाज दोए मानत रब गी रब ने छुपाओ छोड़ी ओए पिया मान जावेद इजाजत ले ले जख्म मोड़ी भी क्यों रे दुखाओ छोड़ी